What's good, y'all? It is Sean P. the Bluff God. Hey! And we back again for another reaction stream. And today we will continue reacting to Artur, the Library of Ohara. Ohara. His One Piece theory. He has this super theory. If you haven't been following the last few streams I've done with him, he has this big super theory that he has. So today we will be covering. I want to say it's episode. What episode are we on? I want to say it's like episode 7 that we're on. I think it's episode 7, pretty much. So yeah, we'll be covering episode 7. The title is a retrospective of how One Piece will end. And this is indeed a much longer video. Sorry, y'all. This will indeed be a much longer video than, like this video is about an hour. Like just the video. I'm not talking about the stream. So the video is about an hour, and yeah. So I'm gonna try not to cut it off too much for you guys, so we could get through this video. But before I get into all that, let me plug in a few things. Do my pre-stream plugs. Make sure you hit that like button, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, because I am doing a giveaway at 50 subscribers. After we get to 50 subscribers, more details on that will come later. So just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. And make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, on my Facebook page. And if you need a One Piece community to be a part of, we have the One Piece Discord and the One Piece Facebook group. All the links will be in the description, as well as the link to the original video that we will be streaming today. So make sure you go, show Artur some love, and just give him some love. Give him a like. If you enjoy his content, go subscribe. All right, let me check the chat. We got Cuban's chat. He said, back from Thriller Bark. Hey, welcome back, man. Welcome back. What's up? He said, I'll try not to interrupt too much too. Hey, I don't care. You do whatever you do, bro. You do what you do. I'm not gonna stop y'all from enjoying, from partaking. I'll stop every once in a while, answer any chats, and I try to stop to give you guys just to interact with you guys as well. As well as give some of my opinion on things. So yeah, so I will stop a few times, but I'll try not to stop every like 2 minutes, like 2 minutes into the video, just so we could get through this stream. It's going to be a long video we're reacting to. So yeah, let's get to it. All right. Let's go. I'm off today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little off. I got a few things going on, so it's just I'm a little off right now. My mind's cluttered with other things. So, just work with me today, guys. Work with me. Work with me.
Peace is one of the grandest and most ambitious stories of our time. A tale so massive that it has spanned over 1,000 chapters, building its own rich world and history. But it's specifically thanks to its enormous size that its author, Eiichiro Oda, has managed to keep the answers to the biggest mysteries in the series hidden in plain sight. The clues to find the answers to these mysteries have all been there for us to find all these years, but because of the sheer length of the series, it's hard to nail down just exactly where all those instances of foreshadowing took place. So in this occasion, for the penultimate episode about our long series about the identity of the One Piece, I would like to do something different, something special. To take a look back at the entire series so far, and to analyze its most important scenes in order.
Q said saw yesterday's reactions. I won't lie, I was bummed. It was a good one. It was a good one. It was a great one. Sorry you had to miss it, man. Sorry you had to miss it. But hey, man, you shouldn't. You the one who suggested. you literally suggested like, hey, man, here's Eliz dropped this video. So I pretty much was doing that reaction because you recommended it. But by the time you told me you wasn't gonna make it, I already kind of had the stream scheduled, so I couldn't. I didn't want to back out of it. So yeah, I'm sorry. I would have done it. I would have done it Thursday, but when you informed me that he dropped the video, I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to cover it. So I'm gonna cover it today, and that's what I did.
Order to see how Oda foreshadowed so many elements right under our eyes, and most importantly, to understand how the series will end. However, I should also mention that this is mostly a summary of sorts of many of the points we've made so far across all episodes of this project.
Hey man, gotta get
so
that
if
money
you find
though.
this episode too long and are too pressed for time, it isn't fully necessary to understand the final episode. But if you do have time, I would heavily encourage watching it, as it will serve as a nostalgic road trip across the series and help you gain a better understanding of this wonderful story. So let us go back to where it all began and make our way through the grand laugh tale that is Eiichiro Oda's One Piece.
Luffy's Laugh Tale. This video is the seventh episode in an 8-part video series about all the secrets in the world of One Piece. It is recommended to watch all 8 videos in order for maximum enjoyment, but it isn't required to enjoy these videos, so you can still watch ahead if you want. All episodes will be linked in order in the description. I'm gonna have to get me a video editor.
So for this occasion, I like to talk not about a main topic,
I'm not much of an editor,
but rather
guys.
about the life of a person, to truly understand why they would become the new Joy Boy by taking a look at their adventures. But who exactly is this person? Who is this person who will become the new Joy Boy? Well, the answer is simple, because Roger himself asked that very question. Who is it that will find the One Piece? That'll be my son, of course. Because Roger believed the new Joy Boy would be his son, Portegas D. Ace. Now, hold on, bear with me, I know this sounds weird, but this will all make sense eventually, so just trust me on this and keep watching. For now, let's focus on the story of Portegas D. Ace.
The Tale of Portegas D. Ace.
Portegas D. Ace was born as the child of the Pirate King Goldie Roger, who during his very last year of life ensured that he would have a kid. Roger then gave himself in and was executed, with the government thinking this would help scare everyone away from attempting to do the same thing. But Roger, laughing in their faces, only kindled a fire in people's hearts, passing on his dream and encouraging them to chase after the One Piece. The reason Roger did this is because he knew that if someone was to inherit Joy Boy's dream, his own dream, they would have to let the entire world hear about it. After all, the chances for someone to actually accomplish this dream would not be easy, so the more people that were drawn to it, the higher the chance that someone would actually find this treasure and bring forth the dawn. With faith that his dream would be inherited and that he would not be forgotten, Roger passed away with a laugh and a smile on his face. And just like he told Rayleigh, he would not die. After his execution, the government did everything to attempt to wipe out Roger's kid, since they feared his bloodline could end up carrying out his ambition in his place. However, Roger's lover, Portegas de Rouge, managed to hide her kid from the eye of the Marines and ensure that he would be born, even if it cost her her life. As a member of the D-Clan, she put everything on the line.
How do you do that, though? How do you delay a pregnancy?
To ensure that he would be born.
Give me a second, Give me a second. Hold on, hold on, y'all. Give me a little bit. I gotta handle some personal stuff. So I'm sorry, but y'all gonna have to give me a second. Hold on. Ooh, I am sorry, guys. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I had to deal with something. Had to deal with something, but that's out the way. That is out of the way. Cube says, so you got your own Den Den Mushi. Nah, that was my messenger. Somebody calling me from Messenger. And it's on my computer, so you guys hear the ringing. But yeah, I had to go deal with something real quick. It wasn't supposed to take that long, but I do apologize because that's not good to be stopping the stream like that. But had to take care of something and took care of it. So let's get back to this stream.
Another member of the D-Clan, a former rival of Roger, Monkey D. Garp, would adopt and take care of Ace, unable to bring himself to make this child pay for the sins of his father. Ace grew up under the tutelage of Garp, his foster mother Dadan, and alongside two brothers. But across this time, Ace suffered from an existential crisis. Roger was widely hated by the world. Perhaps this was simply as a result of jealousy, or perhaps the world government had spread false rumors in an attempt to dissuade people from following his example. But regardless, there were many who hated Roger, and as such, would hate any child of his. Ace took this personally, believing that he was the son of a demon, and wondering if he really had any worth to be alive. He wanted to prove to himself that his life had meaning, and wanted to set out to sea to make a name for himself. He did not care about the One Piece or anything his father had accomplished, he simply cared about giving his life meaning. And so, Ace set out and embarked on many adventures. He got stranded on an island, made a best friend, and ate a devil fruit. He gathered the big crew, made friends with all types of people.
This must be from the Ace novel. Has anybody read the Ace novel? I need to check that out. Q said, "Oh, you're back. Let's go." Yeah, my bad, Q, bro. I didn't mean to. I know I kind of bailed right there. I had to go take care of something, and it's personal stuff, So I had to stop the stream. I didn't want to stop it, but it was supposed to be taken care of earlier. It just couldn't. So, but now my attention is fully on the stream and you guys. But yeah, so this must be part of the Ace novel. This part I haven't really seen the Ace novel or I haven't read the Ace novel yet. But I hear there's a few gems in it. A few. Oda clears up maybe some misconceptions that people got. I don't know, but if you guys have read the Ace novel, definitely let me know. And maybe I don't know if it's on like the Shonen Jump app. Like that's where I usually read my manga. So if it is, I'm gonna have to find it so I can read it or Shonen Jump. But if not, I'm gonna have to possibly buy it. I don't know. Maybe buy like a digital version. Even though the physical copies are be what's popping though. I need to get my manga collection up. Like I don't really have any physical things of manga. So
people, including Marines and people from different races, and start to really enjoy his life, making a big name for himself. But eventually Ace would be landing on the shores of a certain Wano country. And it is there he would meet a little girl by the name of Otama. Otama and the other villagers were starved, brought almost to death because of the oppression of the Emperor Kaido, and so Ace made a promise with Otama and set out to defeat Kaido to free the Wano country. Unknowingly,
Q said like there are like 4 or 5 stories. Let's just say Ace is epic. Okay. Are they if it's on the Shonen Jump app or did you like buy the actual I guess book?
Ace would be inheriting Odin's will to open the borders of the Wano country, which Odin claimed only this new Joy Boy leading this new generation could accomplish. However, as fate would have it, Kaido was simply not present at the moment. Perhaps his true role in this grander story had not been played yet. But instead of Kaido, Ace met Yamato. And Ace formed a bond with Yamato, who also wanted to be free from Kaido. The two exchanged rings under the moonlight and talked about the new generation of pirates Yamato had heard about in Odin's logbook, with Ace declaring that he was certainly in a class of his own, but that the one who would lead this generation would be his little brother.
You'll send
And in
me,
doing so, he let out the
send
secret
it to
that
me
his little
on
brother had once
Discord.
told him. Something that made Yamato realize
Bet.
something very special. Regardless,
'Cause I need to
Yamato and
check
Ace
that out.
parted ways,
I
but
need to check
Ace
it out.
promised Yamato, just like he promised Dotama, that he would one day come back and defeat Kaido to free the Wano country and free the two of them in turn.
Hey, talking about when he said he's gonna come back to Wano. If you watched the reaction stream I did yesterday with Elids, one of his theories was Ace coming back, like his spirit coming back and being part of. I think he said something about that, like about he was talking about Nightmare Luffy, right, and all the souls that might come back to possess Luffy in his nightmare form, and I think Ace was one of them, and he talked about how he would basically fulfilling that promise that he'll come back and defeat Kaido. And if he helps Luffy defeat Kaido, it is kind of like him defeating Kaido as well. Yeah, the ghost spirit possession thing.
Ace would continue making his way through the new world, but would eventually come head-to-head against his most fearsome rival yet, the Yonko Whitebeard. And for the first time, Ace experienced bitter defeat. However, Ace eventually came to appreciate living under Whitebeard, seeing him as the father he never had, and would come to forge a close bond with all the members of his crew, his new family. But all would come to a bloody end when one of his own crewmates killed one of his best friends in the crew. When Marshal D. Teach assassinated 4th Divisional Leader Thatch. Thatch had gotten his hands on the one devil fruit that Teach had been looking after this whole time, and like Teach said, Thatch ended eating the fruit. And because Thatch had eaten the fruit, Teach had no other choice. He had to kill Thatch to have the fruit be reborn. However, this enraged Ace, leading him to search after Teach. He would search long and far from him, across many islands, but
Ace, Odin, and the samurai who were defeated by Kaido. I am perplexed for that. It needs to be nicely presented for it to work. I mean, there's ways around it. I think it could. I think it has a possibility to work. Like you got Big Mom there. She works with souls, and then you got Brook, who, he doesn't have the same abilities as, let's say, Big Mom, but he's the Soul King, right? So I think he can use his music to almost manipulate souls and control them. But I've been on the record about Gecko Moria showing up in Wano and helping Luffy by helping Luffy defeat Kaido in a sense. We'll see a Gear 4th Nightmare Luffy with Moria stuffing shadows in a Gear 4 Luffy or something like that, just to get revenge for Kaido. That's always kind of been my one of my theories. And it also works because if Blackbeard was, let's say Blackbeard was trying to get the devil fruit from Kaido, he has Gecko Moria with him, so he would bring Gecko Moria with him to Wano, which will accomplish two things. It will accomplish Kaido being defeated, but in a way where it's not a ass pull for Luffy, because I know like now Oda has been really building Luffy to beat Kaido at this point, but I'm still a believer that I feel as though Kaido should be defeated by like multiple people, or maybe like Big Mom betraying him, or Blackbeard showing up and trying to take and killing him, like finishing him off and taking his devil fruit. And if Blackbeard shows up, we'll get Gecko Moria, which means we could potentially get Gear 4 Nightmare Luffy. And he said, I just don't want it to be like Naruto, where by the end too many things are introduced in one go. Wano introduce lots of things, but the idea I like, but needs to be nicely presented. I just don't know how it would be like Naruto. I don't get where having a Nightmare Luffy, which we already are aware of. It's not like Nightmare Luffy is a new concept. It's just a matter of how it becomes Nightmare Luffy, and the stage is already, like I said, the stage is already set for Nightmare Luffy. Even if Blackbeard and Gecko Moria doesn't show up, you got the whole Fire Festival thing happen, which is to commemorate the dead, and it talks a lot about souls. I think I've been on record saying that there's Wano is going to, like, we could possibly see some some ghosts or some spirits in Wano regardless, like Odin, because Odin, he needs to have that closure with Hiyori and Momonosuke and the Red Scabbards that are still alive, and then if the Red Scabbards that died, like the ones that did die, like let's say if Okiku died, Izo is still alive, right? So it would be nice to have a moment where Izo talks to Kiko's spirit or whatever, and Odin talks to the Red Scabbards and Momonosuke as well, and Hiyori, and then maybe if we get like an Ace and Luffy moment, like I mean, again, I don't really. You said talking more about the spirit aspect, yeah, and that's my point though. It's like I think, because think about it, like the Fire Festival, right, which is pretty much honoring the dead. It's people communicating with spirits, right? Or so again, that's what I'm saying. It's the stage is already set for it to happen. We could get Ryuma talking to Zoro. Like remember they took Ryuma's Zoro had Ryuma's sword, Shishui, and then Wano took the Shishui. Like Zoro gave Shishui back. So just imagine if Zoro shows up or if Ryuma shows up and talk to Zoro, and possibly give him the sword, the Shishui back, if let's say Zoro doesn't keep Enma. So again, I disagree with you on that aspect, with the whole spirit aspect being like something that's going to be like too much, or like it's something that's on like Naruto level, especially with Oda. Like it's probably something Oda planned, so it's not like it's going to be like Oda just stuffing random stuff in the story just cause he said we haven't been that in depth with spirits. I like it to be nicely introduced. I don't feel we touched this aspect enough to be just dropped it. I like a great introduction to this. I mean, if that's how you feel, I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong or anything. It's just I disagree with that thought, that feeling, because I believe that the stage is already set for it, and knowing Oda, he would when he brings it in, it would make sense, to just throw it out there. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but let's continue.
In the end, alas, Ace was finally able to locate Teach on Banaro Island. Ace attempted to avenge Thatch, engaging in a duel against Teach of historical proportions. As Augur put it, this was a crossroads of fate, an encounter between 2D members of opposing ideals, one representing the sun and the other representing the darkness. But ultimately the one who won was darkness. Ace was not able to free the Wano country. Ace was not able to defeat Teach and his darkness. In a sense, Ace was never able to bring the dawn. But in the first place, Ace never cared about that to begin with. Ace was not even interested in the One Piece. Ace didn't seem to care much about bringing the dawn, so can we really say that Ace's dream was the same as Joy Boy's? Well, technically, yes, but that does not mean that Ace himself was the new Joy Boy. So who really is the new Joy Boy? Well, Ace himself said it, didn't he? When Yamato asked about who would be the most prominent member of this new generation, Ace claimed that he was certainly in a class of his own himself, but the one who would lead this new generation, or in other words, the one who would lead the world to its dawn, would be his little brother.
The Tale of Monkey D. Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy was born and raised in a certain place in the East, at a place called Dawn Island. And what is perhaps the most defining trait of Luffy's early childhood is his fascination with Goldie Roger and pirates in general. We don't see this in the actual story, but the Viewer Card Databook mentioned that Luffy always had a passion for pirates in general, and it's this passion, according to said Viewer Cards, that led Luffy to take an interest in a certain pirate who landed in his town.
I never knew that. I never knew that Luffy's interest in piracy was before Shanks. I thought Shanks was the one who sparked that interest in Luffy, but that's definitely interesting. That's an interesting realization, I guess. You know, to realize to learn that Luffy already was, you know, I guess had a respect for pirates, or maybe he liked pirates already. But then that would also make sense to why, like, when Shanks and them came to the island, maybe that's why he flocked towards Shanks, because he already liked pirates. So when he seen a real life pirate, it was just like, oh, let me go try to be friends with him. You know what I'm saying? So makes sense. But I always thought, you know, his fascination with pirates came after he met Shanks and his crew. So
Shanks. It's with this encounter that Luffy witnessed what real pirates were like. And more than anything else, he saw the Red Heart Pirates partying, singing, dancing, drinking, and having a joyous time together. This fascinated Luffy, hearing them talk about the joys of life, of being a pirate, being free, being able to party with your friends and just having a merry old time. Luffy became enamored with this idea and wanted to be a part of it. So he asked Shanks to let him join his crew. Shanks told his crewmates not to put any weird ideas in Luffy, as he was still a kid, since Shanks had been a pirate as a kid himself, and he understood the dangers of setting out to sea that early, so he wanted Luffy to properly understand what he was getting into. However, Luffy would say something to Shanks that would leave the pirate completely speechless. "Hey Shanks, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna throw the biggest party in the world." Shanks was shocked because he once heard these very same words from his captain, Goldie Roger. Keep in mind, this is not something that we see directly in the manga, but it is.
Yeah, I was about to mention that disclaimer. Like, if you watched his early episodes of this theory, we don't know if that's what Luffy and Goldie Roger said, like the throw the party, but that's kind of what the speculation. Like, if you watch, I think the first episode, I think that's what the speculation was, that like it was a moment when Luffy was telling Shanks something, and it kind of was muted. And then there was a time when Goldie Roger was talking to Whitebeard and they was drinking. I think they was next to all those flower blossoms and stuff, and they was drinking sake, and Goldie Roger said something and it was also muted. So, you know, the idea is that him and Luffy pretty much said the same thing. And what Artur pretty much speculated during that part of the theory was that Luffy's ultimate goal, right? His ultimate goal is to throw the biggest party in the world, right? Because we always see at the end of every arc, right? At the end of every arc, with the exception of a few arcs, like I want to say Marineford, Sabaody, and it's another one, but I can't really remember. But it's usually like the arcs where it's like a big tragedy that happens. Like at the end of those arcs, you know, or at the end of most arcs, there's always a party, right? So, you know, the speculation is Luffy loves parties, right? Like that he loves parties because it brings people together. So his goal is to have like the world's biggest party so he could bring the world together, right? Because a lot of people would probably assume what Luffy said was, I want to be Pirate King, or I want to find the One Piece. But we already know that's what Luffy wants. We already know he always says, I want to be Pirate King, and he always says his goal is to find the one, or he's going to be the one to find the One Piece. So why would they need to mute? Why would they need to mute that out if we already know? If he says it all the time, so the speculation is like it's something like what Luffy said and what Goldie Roger said was something different from I want to be Pirate King or I want to find a One Piece. It was something about a pirate, about a party, because when Goldie Roger was talking to Whitebeard I think said something about like, oh, that's childish or that's a childish dream or whatever. So, and Shanks kind of looked at Luffy for saying the same thing. Like he told Rayleigh like, hey, Luffy pretty much said the same thing our captain said. So, that was kind of that's the speculation is the world's biggest party. Q said it's so random that Shanks stayed on the same island that Ace grew up in and was there at that time too. I think it was that and not. I think it was that and not that. I think it was that and not that. I think it's more than that. Yeah, the muted scene, I think so too. Roger also seemed to be honestly surprised about the newspaper calling him Pirate King and loved it. Yeah. So what you said? I think it was that, and not. So you think it was the party and not the One Piece or Pirate King is what you're saying? I think that's what you're trying to say. But yeah, let's continue.
Is mentioned later on. According to Rayleigh, Shanks once told him that Luffy ended up saying the exact same words that Roger once uttered. Roger had said the exact same thing to Whitebeard and Odin, like Yamato said, that he wanted to throw the biggest party in the world. But ultimately, Roger was not able to fulfill that dream because he realized he was too early for the One Piece. Perhaps this is why Shanks cried to Roger after he returned from Laugh Tale, because Roger confirmed that he wouldn't be able to carry out this dream himself, but could only pass the torch to a new generation so that someone else would be able to do so in his stead and inherit his dream. Shanks really wanted to see that party happen, so he was heartbroken. Perhaps this is exactly what Shanks meant when he said that Luffy reminds him of his younger self. And it's precisely because of this that Shanks found an interest in Luffy. He felt that he could be the one that Roger was waiting for all this time. He bet his arm for the sake of Luffy's growth, and when Luffy declared that he would make many friends and gather an unbeatable crew, find the greatest treasure in the world, and become the Pirate King, at that moment Shanks knew. He understood that someone had properly inherited Roger's dream, and so gifted him his hat. The hat that Roger once wore, he passed it down to someone he believed in. Not because he was certain that he was the chosen one or anything like that, but because he had faith that Luffy had the potential to carry out his dream. Shanks bet on Luffy. A bet.
I wonder if Roger gave, like, let's say he gave that straw hat to Buggy or somebody, like he gave it to one of the other members that would have never met Luffy. Luffy would have never got the straw hat. I don't know. I was just thinking of something random. It's just funny. It's just funny to me how Roger gave Shanks the straw hat, and Shanks is the one of this whole crew to actually meet Luffy as a child and give Luffy that straw hat as well, and then inspire him to go out to seas and be like, hey man, I want my hat back. Just become a great pirate. I'm gonna take it after I become a great pirate. Q said, I think it's something about a party, but with something that wasn't heard, and extra information. Okay. All right. I mean, I don't know. We ain't really hear what he said, so that's just the speculation that we came to. Not me, not we, but Artur per se. Like I agree though. I agree that it is probably the world's biggest party. It makes sense though, because when you look at parties, they bring people together. Luffy is always good at bringing people together through parties,
On the new era. But before he would one day set out to sea, Luffy came to meet someone who deeply influenced his life. Ace, someone who Luffy wanted to befriend at all costs. And this is because of a very simple reason. Because Luffy had always been alone. Sure, he had the villagers, Makino and even Shanks, but Luffy never made any friends of his age in his life. He was completely alone in that regard, especially at Mount Corvo with bandits he hated being with. To him, being alone was worse than being hurt. After witnessing all those parties and the joy of sharing life with others, Luffy understood very well that life isn't meant to be lived alone. Luffy understood very well that friends are the most important thing of all, which is why to him parties are so important, because they're the best way to share life with others. And finally, one day, Ace and his other friend Sabo would acknowledge Luffy's desire to not be alone and agreed to become his friends. The three of them would grow close over time, and at one point, they decided to declare their own dreams to each other. Sabo wanted to be free from his life as a noble and to set out to sea to achieve true freedom. Ace wanted to give his life meaning and purpose by making a name for himself. But Luffy...
Man, I low-key want to see more flashback with like Luffy as a kid. Luffy and Ace and Sabo as kids. Like they just need to come out with like a movie where they just go on some journey. I don't know. It ain't gotta be canon. I just want to see him. I just want to see them three go on adventures as kids. I think that'd be dope.
Wished for something completely different. Just like he had proclaimed to Shanks, Luffy proclaimed his ultimate goal: to throw the biggest party in the world.
Cube says, since Luffy was too young to think of something too complex, it need to be childish yet amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's something simple, you know? It's something simple, like... And Luffy is still childish. When you look at Luffy now, he's... But it's like a pure childish, you know? It's like a pureness of it, you know?
Ace and Sabo were confused by this, but Luffy laughed. They all laughed together, and so Ace decided to lay the first step towards Luffy's dream.
お前ら知ってるか？杯を交わすと兄弟になれるんだ。
兄弟？本当かよ！
俺たちの絆は兄弟としてつなぐ。
He stole a bottle of sake from the Dan and shared it among the three of them to be tied in a bond of brotherhood, of friendship, just like one would exchange sake at a party. And so, also that Luffy would one day be able to exchange sake with all types of people from all over the world in a massive party, Ace led that first step by exchanging sake between the three of them. These three brothers would continue to be fast friends, giving Luffy his first taste of friendship. Eventually, Sabo would be separated from them, believed to be dead. Luffy was heartbroken, but Ace reassured him one thing: I will not die.
Lies. Okay.
Time passed, and so Ace left on his journey. Then some years later, Luffy, now aged 17, finally set out to sea to begin his grand adventure and to start his road towards becoming Pirate King. The journey, however, would not be easy. He met a young man by the name of Kobe and inspired him to chase his own dreams as well, telling him that he was willing to smile and laugh in the face of death. And with that, Luffy finally started to make friends. He first met a swordsman by the name of Zoro with a similar ambition to become the world's strongest swordsman. He met a sly thief by the name of Nami who also had a love for the sea and freedom. A lying marksman by the name of Usopp who also desired to become a brave warrior of the sea. And a gallant cook with a dream to find the All Blue, the sea of legend that would one day be brought by the dawn. Luffy had managed to attain a cook, something he had always wished for alongside attaining a musician, because after all, what is a party without a cook to make food, and a musician to play some music? With all these friendships, Luffy forged bond with these people, exchanging sake with them after they joined his crew just like he did with Ace and Sabo, to form an eternal bond of friendship with them. Finally, Luffy was not alone anymore. These journeys through the waters of East Blue became Luffy's first steps, but they showed his spirit in his willingness to bring joy to others and connect with his friends. Luffy would free town after town from oppression, bringing freedom wherever he went, culminating in the defeat of Arlong.
Bro, Luffy like America out here, man. Luffy is America, bro. He just bringing freedom just everywhere. Luffy just trying to bring freedom to everybody. But the only difference is he's trying to bring good freedom, though. The good freedom. Not like the take your oil type freedom.
The crime lord who had taken grasp of the East Blue, going strictly against the dreams of his former captain, deciding not to inherit his will, and giving in to his fear. Luffy helped do what Fisher, Tiger, and Jibe couldn't, and put an end to Arlong's rule over humans. However, the reason why Luffy took down someone like Arlong wasn't for the sake of justice, but for the sake of his friend. Nami, who had been so emotionally and spiritually tortured by Arlong, free to travel anywhere but chained by the people Arlong held hostage, also wanted to be free, just like Luffy, but the chains that bound her didn't let her be so. And so Luffy gave her freedom in the only way he knew how to, by taking his treasure, the one Shanks had passed on to him, and using it to console Nami, to tell her that his real treasure were his crewmates. Luffy defeated Arlong and freed Nami, in turn inheriting Bellemer's will, and celebrated a massive party alongside Nami and everyone else. The first proper large party Luffy had been able to throw with his
let's
friends.
all get
With
wasted.
this, Luffy made way for the Grand Line, with one last stop at Lockdown before entering the uproarious sea. There he would almost lose his life, yet in spite of that, he still laughed. And he was able to connect with someone who would be able to save his life, allowing him to finally enter the Grand Line.
Bro, we need Dragon, man. Dragon needs to show up in the story sometime soon. You know, hopefully we get. I mean, even though we did get a little Dragon like around Reverie and all that, but hopefully we get Dragon like after Wano. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to figure out what's going on with Sabo. You know, this aftermath with Reverie. What happened with Sabo? What's going on with the SSG and the Shichibukai? You know, like I'm pretty sure I know my dog Mihawk still alive. I think all of them. I think all the Shichibukai are probably still alive, but you know, maybe Boa might be captured. You know, but I wonder if we got like well, yeah, Kobe, because Kobe went to go capture Boa. So you know, I hope you get to see what happened in their encounter. You know, if Kobe beat. I mean, yo, just imagine if just imagine if Kobe beat Boa. Like, I think if they did fight, Kobe had to win that because Kobe needs some type of feat. He needs something to sit here and say, look, you know, because we seen Kobe do some things like during Reverie when he stopped that I think it was a torpedo or something. We seen that, but then it was like, you know, it showed us that Kobe has grown a lot and that he's a lot stronger and faster, you know, especially after training with Garp. But it's like we got to see him in a fight though, and he has to win he has to win a fight against somebody like a noteworthy person. And at the moment, the best person is going to be Boa because, you know, he went to go, I guess, apprehend Boa. So that would probably be the best person to get a noteworthy win against. But even if he defeats her, will he actually take her into custody? Especially since they share that passion for Luffy, you know? Would that shared passion for Luffy save Boa from being handed over, you know? Have to wait and see. I think that's one of those things we need to really cover, especially after Wino arc. Cube said if Luffy existed in our world, yeah, that'd be wild. He'd be a normal person though, unless the devil fruits exist as well, and then maybe he'd have his stretching abilities, you know. He said, I think some got captured. I agree. I think Buggy probably got away knowing him. I think Mihawk got away. I don't think they was able to stop Mihawk. Boa, I think she might be one of the ones to get captured. What's the one character name who said he's Whitebeard's son? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Him, you know, y'all know who I'm talking about. Weevil, Sweevil. Like Weevil, I don't think Weevil would get caught though. I think he has a lot more. Like, we gotta figure out about Weevil. Like, if Weevil get caught and then we never see him, it's like, why was he even introduced? You know, so unless he was specifically introduced to showcase the might of the SSG, but then that still wouldn't make sense because we don't really know how strong Weevil is, right? We don't know how strong Weevil is. So if he is defeated by the SSG, Weevil could have been the bum, right? So that wouldn't even be that impressive. You know, like, for the SSG to be impressive, we gotta see him defeat strong characters. So I'm trying to think who's left of the warlords, you know, that could be beaten. I don't think Mihawk's gonna be beaten, but I think he can. The kid has hidden talents. Yeah, Kobe. Yeah, I think he might beat. I think he might beat Boa. I think he might beat Boa. He evolved so fast. Imagine your first day as a Marine. You're sent to capture Dracula, mother effing Mihawk, bro. Yeah, that's horrible. I'll quit right there. I'll go AWOL. They gonna have to send me to the brig. I'm telling you. Let's continue. I probably won't. We're probably not gonna watch the rest of the whole this whole video because it is kind of a it is kind of a I think he's just more so going back on the story. So we'll probably watch, you know, a good 30, you know, we'll watch it. We'll watch a portion of it.
Entering the Grand Line, this is where Luffy's adventures would truly begin. He made a promise with a whale that had not been able to reunite with his crew, with his caretaker, a former crew member of Roger, wondering if Luffy would be the one Roger had been waiting for. Then he later met a princess by the name of Vivi who wanted to save her kingdom. From that point onwards, Luffy would make a bond with two giants, who despite being from a different race, Luffy didn't see as monsters, but as people as him. Then he later met a reindeer that spoke like a human, also acknowledged him as a person and not as a monster. Together with him, he helped him accomplish the dream of his late father, to let Sakura bloom on his home island, making a miracle come true. Which is why he passed away with a smile on his face, knowing that his will would be inherited and that he would not be forgotten, with Chopper in turn also inheriting the dream of becoming a doctor capable of curing anything. The Straw Hats would then make their way to the kingdom of Alabasta. There Luffy would meet Ace again, and Ace noticed something. That Luffy had made such good friends. And it's upon seeing these friends of Luffy that he became relieved, because he saw that Luffy finally found people he could really trust in. And so Ace bid him goodbye by simply telling him, "The next time we meet will be at the pinnacle of the pirate world." Luffy would then fight hard to help Vivi, and Carl, let's not forget about Best Boy, to free her country, which was falling into the clutches of an evil tyrant. But for as hard as he tried, Luffy eventually experienced defeat for the first time. Luffy had realized that he could not get by through with brute force alone, but that was fine. Luffy lost, Luffy was defeated, but he got back up again, learned from his defeat, and rose up to the challenge once more. And
bro, I miss badass Robin. You know, Robin was Robin was a badass during Alabasta, and like up to like the build to Alabasta and like a little after. Robin was a true badass, and that Oda just kind of nerfed her. Not really nerfed her, but just kind of he didn't nerf her abilities. He just kind of nerfed her. He nerfed her badassness, like that it factor she had. You know, she just became chill all of a sudden. Just like, oh, I'm gonna just chill and read my books. I'm gonna read my books. But Alabasta, was like she was that mysterious and. Man, I miss old Robin, man. Even though Wano Robin was pretty badass too when she fought Black Maria. Let's put some respect on Robin's name now. Laboon the True G. Yeah, man, that's why like after they unify all the seas into one big ocean. To one big ocean, man, Brooke is going to get to meet Laboon again. And then he said, hope we see him in the future. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see Laboon again. Don't you fret. Don't you fret there, guy. Don't you fret. Robin was badass in Wano. Yeah, man, that's why, like we need to, I'm gonna start printing some red hats to say make Robin great again. That's what we gonna do. Make Robin great again. And then he says that scene when she came to Sanji's rescue. Oh yeah, that was a dope moment. You know, 'cause everybody was laughing at Sanji, but you know, we know Sanji. That was like one of them moments where that was a milestone moment for Sanji to have to call for help from like one of his female companions, right? Because usually he tries to protect them from getting hurt and from, you know, fighting and stuff. So for him to actually call to Robin for her to fight on his behalf because he knows that he can't sit here and harm a woman. It was a great moment, you know. Sanji 80% gentleman, 20% simp. Nah, I disagree with that. Sanji is 100% gentleman and 100% simp. That's the real correct number. He's 100% simp and 100% gentleman. Let's continue. Love Sanji, but women are really his weakness. Yeah. Yeah, I think I think that kind of came from Zeph. A little bit how his mom treated him. You know, his relationship with his mom and his sister. You know, like they were the only ones that was really nice to him and his family. And then when he met Zeph kind of, you know, ingrained a lot of stuff like that into him. That's why I kind of hope we get a moment. We get like maybe we get a moment where he meets Zeph again and Zeph tells him like, look, man, you could protect yourself against women. Because I think a lot of it, like, I think if Zeph told him that he doesn't have to hold back against women, I think he might actually, I think Zeph is probably the only person who could really change Sanji's mindset about that. But at this point, that might be so ingrained in Sanji's person. I don't know. Maybe Zeph won't be that person.
He lost again, but he got back up again. And that, at its core, might be Luffy's biggest strength, that he is always willing to suffer defeat. Most would find that to be a wound to their pride, but to Luffy, it doesn't matter, because as long as he could eventually succeed, as long as he could protect his friends, he didn't care if his pride was tarnished. He took every loss and used it to learn, to improve, and to become better, because no matter how many times he's pounded, defeated, or tossed away, Luffy will always bounce back, because he's made of rubber. And so, after a difficult struggle, Luffy would come out on top and help free this country from the darkness that lurked beneath it, bringing freedom to all its inhabitants. An ally of his sadly had to put down his...
I never noticed that. Like, I mean, that is a great analogy for Luffy. Like, Luffy always bounced back because he's made of rubber. I mean, his devil fruit is literally probably the best personification of who Luffy is as a person. You know, somebody who will always bounce back.
His life to save everybody, but even then, right before his death, he smiled. And let's definitely pretend that's where it ended and that Oda totally didn't feel bad and retconned one of the best death scenes in the entire series. Yep, nothing more happened. Moving on. Luffy celebrated this victory by partying with his friends among a...
Bro, people hate the fact that Pell's still alive, bro. People hate that. And I know, like, people was afraid for Pedro, boy. I ain't gonna lie. I believe that. I was probably one of the only few that actually believed that Pedro died for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, after that explosion, he wasn't there no more, right? So it's like, you know, it ain't like he teleported. With Pell, you could kind of make the excuse, you know, that nobody's seen him still alive, but I don't know. I thought Pedro was dead when that happened, but you know, Oda do be kind of pulling some stuff when it comes to deaths. He be kind of pulling some BS when it comes to death, but let's continue.
Uproarious laughter. Finally, it came time to move on to yet another adventure, but unfortunately, one of Luffy's friends would have to stay behind. The two of them parted ways, but even so, they knew that the bond of friendship that they had exchanged together would remain forever. However, a new friend would join Luffy, a woman by the name of Nico Robin, an archaeologist from Ohara who had an interest in the true history. Together with her, Luffy and his friends became fascinated with the idea of an island in the sky. In their attempt to make their way there, they came upon the island of Jaya, where Luffy and the others were ridiculed and laughed at for attempting to chase after such delusional dreams. And yet, there was a person who did encourage Luffy. This was someone whom Luffy disagreed on an existential level. The pies he found so delicious, Luffy hated, and the drinks Luffy found so delectable, he hated in turn. They were the complete opposites of each other in every possible way, yet in the same sense they were...
Bro, that's crazy how just that scene right there is just such a foreshadow of their dynamic, right? Luffy and Blackbeard's dynamic. It's just at that scene, like, we didn't realize Blackbeard was going to be the big deal that he was, you know. But it was such a great foreshadowing moment because they were like he's saying, they were opposites, right? So it's like Blackbeard is anti-Luffy, right? Like he is the man. It was a great moment. It was a underrated foreshadowing moment that I don't think even now people really kind of take in consideration. Like honestly, I didn't even really take that in consideration till he just kind of explaining it right now. So, but it makes sense though now that you look at it. You're looking at it like looking back at it.
Were both two sides of the same coin, two opposite fates that wished to take the world in different directions. They represented different ideals, but they were following the same path to the pinnacle, meaning that one day they would have to clash. Which is why that man encouraged Luffy to reach for the pinnacle and told him a simple thing. And with that, he bid him goodbye, neither knowing but both understanding that they would one day face each other for their struggle to attain the One Piece. Luffy and his friends then made their way to Skypiea and came into contact with the long ward that had been traveling the sky for so long. I've already talked in long depth about the story of the sky, so I won't repeat myself much here, but ultimately, through his efforts, Luffy was able to put an end to that conflict. He inherited Kalgara and Nolan's will to ring the bell and deliver that message, and brought an end to a 400-year-long war through the simple act of throwing a party. The people of the sky,
parties, boy, I tell you,
an utopia where they could all live together in harmony, finally managed to do so once again, not by going to some holy promised land, but by learning to live alongside each other. Luffy was able to unite these different races and bring them joy through a simple party.
All right, I'm gonna skip to the last one because he's pretty much, from what I see, he's pretty much going through by arc, right? And the last one is talking about Laugh Tale. So I want to see what he has to say about Laugh Tale. And if you guys want to watch the full video, you can feel free to click the link in the description box and watch the full video, right? Like I left off at Water 7, right? So y'all could start at Water 7, watch it up till Laugh Tale if you want. But yeah, I'm gonna skip it and we're gonna start at Laugh Tale.
That brings us to the present, but our story doesn't end here. We need to go all the way up to the end. However, it's hard to really say what will happen, since at this point we can only speculate what is going to happen. Regardless, I don't think it matters much, since it's impossible to predict the more specific details, only the broader strokes. But none of the specifics really matter to us. What only really matters to us here is the context of the One Piece itself. So let's just focus on understanding the major points of what is going to come ahead. Put simply, once Wano ends, the final saga will begin. Oda has a...
What he said. Alright, it says, correct. Rather than wanting to stop, it's that the series will end. Because the most exciting part of Luffy's adventure, being the story of what is the One Piece, will come to its conclusion. Things are heating up in the Wano country right now, but if Luffy can set sail from here safely, there will be developments on a global scale. I like how you said if. I like right here how he says, but if Luffy can set sail. Like giving you that benefit of doubt that maybe Luffy won't be able to, leave Wano so easily. Or maybe, things ain't going to go the way y'all might think they going to go. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of hope they don't personally, but, let's continue. That's not usually what happens in stories. But let's continue. There will be developments on a global scale. A thrilling story that the likes of which no one has ever read before. I'll draw the greatest battle ever in OP history. It will be exciting. In other words, I made such a statement so readers could be mentally prepared to understand that even a story as long as this one is properly headed towards its end. That said, for now, just take your time and enjoy Wano while it's hot, baby. Enjoy Wano while it's hot, baby. I'll be drawing with all my strength. Hey man, let's just pray that Oda stays healthy. We got to get the end. We got to get the end of the story. And if just in that case, I hope he has like a backup plan. Like maybe he told one person all the secrets and stuff. Like his most trusted. Like Oda has somebody who's like Zoro or something, that he trusts vehemently. But let's continue.
Already alluded as such himself in the SBS, but the final saga itself will likely be comprised by several different arcs, short and long. I think a setup arc will likely be the final destination the Straw Hats really must visit before making their way to the final island, being the...
I gotta appreciate that moment right there. That moment we see we see the monster trio. Do we call it the monster trio now? Because now that we got Jinbei, it's like a monster quadruple or something. I don't know. I'm gonna call the new monster trio. I'm gonna call Luffy, or not Luffy. It's gonna be Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei. That's gonna be the monster trio. Luffy's like he gonna be the tier above the monster trio. But we got the monster trio. Then we got like the second tier monster trio, in like the second tier trio in Brooke, Frankie, and Robin, and I don't know what do we call that? What do we call the mid trio? I'm gonna call them the mid trio right now, and then right, only ones we missing is the weak trio, and I don't say weak because they're weak. I'm not saying they're weak, but they're usually the ones that kind of stay away from the confrontations and stuff. And that's Nami, Chopper, and Usopp, of course. So yeah. There is that. But I love this. For those who watch anime, to me this moment was probably, it was definitely a badass moment. You got Zoro there looking all serious. Zoro looking super serious. Even Frankie and Jinbei looking at each other. Robin don't even want to look at Brooke, and Sanji and Zoro don't want to look at each other either. But yeah, let's go.
To the final island, being the Islands of Giants, Elbaf. Given its potential ties with the Great Kingdom, it's quite likely that might have a poneglyph or two, perhaps even Road Poneglyph for some reason. Elbaf could perhaps also be a good opportunity to defeat Big Mom if she doesn't get defeated at Wano, but either way, I think eventually soon enough, all 4 poneglyphs will fall into the hands of the Straw Hats. In that regard, the location of Laugh Tale will finally be revealed to the Straw Hats, but where exactly will that be? Well, many have speculated where it could be, some think it will be on the moon, or some believe more logically that it will be under Reverse Mountain, which makes a lot of sense, but personally, there's a certain line of dialogue that always stood out to me. In chapter 820, Inuarashi explained that the final island at the ends of the Grand Line, Lodestar, would explain how to seek out the 4 road poneglyphs. This name holds particular relevance given how Roger was born at Lockdown, which is located on the Polestar Archipelago. Lodestar and Polestar. Nami, however, argued that Crocus mentioned the final island of the Grand Line was in Lodestar but Laugh Tale, and Inuarashi replied, well, Crocus was a crewmate of the Pirate King, one of those who knows everything. He would not lie about that unless he disliked you. So what if Crocus meant that Laugh Tale was at Lodestar, but perhaps hidden away? Maybe it's a sky island above Lodestar, or maybe it's under the water, or something is needed to access it, or maybe I'm just misunderstanding this line, but it doesn't really matter where Laugh Tale is, it only matters that the Straw Hats will get there. However, attaining the One Piece will not be easy. As both characters in World and even Oda himself stated, a massive war will erupt. Everything that has been set up all across the timeskip will come into play. Vegapunk will appear, and with him, the origin of Dow Fruits will be explained. The events set up across the Reverie will come into play, and everything is going to fall together for a struggle to attain the One Piece.
Let me ask y'all something in the chat. Alright? I want to answer. Everybody that's viewing, I want you put in the chat. What are you more anxious to see? Are you more anxious to see Dragon? To see Dragon do something, like let's say to see Dragon fight and what his potential devil fruit is, or are you more anxious to see Vegapunk? Like I want to know what you guys think. Me personally, that's kind of a tough one right there, man. That's a tough one. Who do I want to see more? I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see Vegapunk. I think for me it'll be Vegapunk, like the Vegapunk reveal, because with Vegapunk I think we would get so much reveals in the whole story. We'll learn more about the devil fruits. We'll learn, maybe their origin, where they come from. Just all the potential things that we'll learn when we get Vegapunk. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I definitely want to see Dragon fight. I definitely want to see Dragon go all out. But I think Vegapunk though, man. Vegapunk is gonna be where the money is when it comes to like reveals. Like a lot of secrets that we've been wondering about the story for so long. I think when Vegapunk show up, that's when we gonna get some good reveals. Cube says Vegapunk. There's almost nothing on Vegapunk, and the knowledge that we will get will be immense. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you on that. But I'm low-key, I'm definitely excited to see Vegapunk. Okay, let me ask you this one. Dragon, like going all out and getting the backstory on Dragon and seeing him fight and everything, or more information about Im Sama. I might I might have to go with Im on that one, because Im is just too mysterious for me. Him, just like Vegapunk, he's too mysterious. Matter of fact, I'll probably put Im over Vegapunk as well, because Im, I feel as though the secrets that we're gonna learn from Im Sama are gonna be even wild. Because I think like Im is probably one of those characters who've been around since the Void Century, right? He probably been around with the ancient kingdoms, or maybe he could be an alien or something, but or like from another planet, kind of like those people who were on those space pirates that were on the moon. Like he could be like one of them. But I feel as though when we get Im, though, that's when we gonna get into the real secrets of the world. like Vegapunk, we'll get a lot of secrets with Vegapunk. We'll get like secrets about devil fruits, you know, how they work, you know, why they work the way they do, things like that. Maybe some other secrets, but with Im Sama, like I think we might get like secrets of like the ancient kingdom and the void century and you know who he is, where he come from, you know. So yeah. Cube says Dragon. I prefer not to get any new info. I want to address Dragon and Vegapunk before getting info about Im. Im is still recent. I get you. I get what you mean. But I'm not asking like who do you want first. I'm just saying who are you more excited to you know like what are you more anxious to like what are you more anxious to see? Im, regardless how recent he is, you know, we talking like end game stuff. You know, we talking end game things. And I feel as though Im is going to give us secrets about like history, like you know, like he probably has firsthand experience with like Joy Boy and the Sun God. Like he might have firsthand knowledge of those guys, you know. Whereas Vegapunk, he might know a lot of stuff about the, you know, like current things. He might know a lot of stuff about history, but a lot of stuff with history, he probably like discovered some other ways. Where Im though, Im Sama, now we talking about getting some real juicy first-handed details of, you know, people like Joy Boy and you know I think Im is gonna be where you know where we get the secrets from Joy Boy and the Sun God in the ancient kingdom. You know, as where Dragon, I mean, you know, Dragon is mysterious, but I don't know if we're gonna get any. Like he might give some secrets that he learned upon doing whatever he did, but he doesn't have any firsthand knowledge about some of these secrets. You know, especially like the ancient kingdom and all these things. But Vegapunk though, Vegapunk is gonna give us more information than let's say Dragon. But I don't think he's gonna give us more information than somebody like Im. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, Im is probably who I'm definitely the most intrigued to learn about. And you said excited to see Dragon. He's the reason how I got hooked. I've been interested in him since we saw him. I feel Vegapunk will have info about Im. I mean, he might, but I don't know if Vegapunk, because you gotta understand, like, how many people even really know of Im's existence. You know, I know Vegapunk might be a very in the know type individual, but I don't know if he's that in the know about Im, somebody like Im. You know, I think the only people who literally know about Im are the Gorosei. Like that's how tight they keep things within the Gorosei, where it's like, you know, maybe the Gorosei know about Im and maybe a few guards, but I don't think Vegapunk knows about Im. I don't think because Vegapunk is more like he works for the world government, but you know. I don't know. You know, I don't know. There's nothing to imply that Vegapunk knows about Im. Like we don't even know nothing about Vegapunk, let alone know if he knows or if he's aware of Im. So I don't know. You know. I don't know. I don't know. That's just like that's just I can't agree with you on that. I don't know. I think Im is probably so secretive that again the Gorosei are the only ones who know about him, and maybe a few guards who work in like the throne room. But other than that, you know, everybody, you know, because if like if the top brass in the Marines don't know about Eam, I don't know why Vegapunk would know about him, you know. Cube said, it's just that if someone would know about Eam, or at least his existence, Vegapunk could be that one. But why? Like, why? You know, just like, I get what you're saying, but why? You know, why would Vegapunk have to be that person? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get Vegapunk is a genius. I get he's like this super mysterious person, but it's like, you know, we don't know. You know, like we don't know. It's just a speculation. It's just like what, you know. Vegapunk is smart, but he doesn't know everything that goes on in the world. You know, he knows stuff that might have to do with science and a good chunk of history, possibly. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I think Eam is very secretive to where like nobody really. Dragon might know something, possibly, maybe like a tip of the iceberg. Dragon might know something. Maybe Doflamingo. Doflamingo is one person who could possibly know who Eam is. You know, like them two, I could see possibly knowing things, but I don't know.
The world government, and specifically King Emu, will make their move, threatening to sink the world into shadows, purging its light, purging its sun. It's been emphasized that the world government has been gathering a lot of weapons. They were desperate enough that they went directly to Orochi to ask, and one of Orochi's men even suggested that they were preparing to start a massive war. In that regard, Emu might be done with just letting the status quo remain, and might try to take things into his own hands. We've seen this more recently with how the world government has decided not to try to erase the existence of the ancient weapons, but to seize them for themselves. However, unavoidably, the Revolutionary Army will try to stand as a force against Emu, and Dragon will likely or hopefully play a big role. His own ability to create storms will result in a little storm.
Cube said, oh, it's totally speculation, but I feel Vegapunk will be more than just a scientist. I see him working with someone else. I don't know. You know. But I don't know if he's going to be the one that's going to be doing all the revealing about Eam and everything. You know, even if he is aware of Eam's existence. Let's say he is aware of Eam's existence. How much does he know about him? You know, besides the fact that the guy exists. You know what I'm saying? How much does he actually know to really sit here and explain to the Straw Hats, like, oh yeah, Eam is this guy and he's the king, and you know, like, even if he does, he might just know like a very surface level amount of information about Eam, you know. But I don't know. I don't think Vegapunk knows who Eam is. But I don't know.
Storm being brought, just like celestial dragons always believed that they would. At the same time, Blackbeard will also finally make his move to attempt to seize the position of Pirate King for himself. He will rise up as Luffy's final challenge to attain the One Piece. The man who he had met all that time ago, who much like Luffy, rose from the shadows to become one of the most known figures in the world, the other side to his coin, will finally challenge him to determine who will make it to the pinnacle.
Oh yeah, Zebek also might be somebody who know who Eam is. Like, he might be somebody in the know of who Eam's existence. I could see Zebek. So by that, let's say Zebek lives within Blackbeard. If Zebek is living within Blackbeard, like, you know, I've said my theory about Blackbeard possibly having multiple souls within him. So if that is the case, Blackbeard could possibly know who Eam is as well. Even though it might also be service level as well. But
someone who, much like Luffy, laughs and loves to party, but he monopolizes that party and only shows favor to those who are willing to follow him. All others who won't will sink in his darkness, because that is what reaching for the pinnacle means to him. I legitimately believe that even with figures like Imu, Blackbeard has, and always will be, Luffy's central antagonistic force he will have to face as his ultimate struggle. A member of the D-Clan, a member of the worst generation, which makes him a candidate for Pirate King as Morgan's mentioned, who could potentially become the Pirate King. Whether it's him or Luffy who will make it to the pinnacle is not yet set in stone, but just like we have believed in him all this time, we must keep believing in Luffy until the very end. But this war is going to bring back far more than just few characters. Everyone will be here, everyone we've met so far in our journey will come back for this incredible finale. Well, I mean, not everyone, but at least a large part of all the major characters in the story. Enel will finally make his way down from the moon. Moria might ally himself with Blackbeard. Crocodile will make his move. Hancock might come to help Luffy. Mihawk will be present to have a final duel with Zoro. Buggy will be up to some shenanigans. Many of the Marines we've met so far will be there. Many of the Shichibukai we've met will be there too. The Grand Fleet will finally come into action and play out the major role they were foreshadowed to one day play, helping Luffy achieve his struggle to become Pirate King. Who knows, maybe even Foxy will return or something. Basically, think something like Stampede, but on an actual larger scale, with even more characters and a far larger scope, especially from a narrative perspective. This final saga will both be filled with reverie-worthy reveals and with unbelievable stakes in this grand war. Just like Oda stated, the final saga will make Marineford look cute by comparison. Everyone will be there. And the reason for that is much more than just for the sake of throwbacks and to make a cool final saga, because think about it. If everyone is there, it will finally become possible. With everyone in the world gathered in one place, at last it can become a reality. The biggest party in the world. The fight will not be easy, it will prove to be the greatest struggle Luffy and his allies have ever faced. But if Luffy can succeed, then he will finally be able to do it. He will finally defeat the world government and put an end to the corruption of the celestial dragons. He will defeat Blackbeard and change the world, and turning it upside down, bringing it out of its night and into the dawn, the Ramon's dawn. He will guide the ancient weapons to destroy the world, to break down the walls that divided people apart, and uniting everyone together, both literally by uniting the seas and by connecting people together. He will bring the sea folk from the floor to the surface and ensure that everyone can live under the same sun. But this alone.
Cube said, I feel there's more to the Davy back fights that was created in the Pirate Paradise. All right. I mean, feel free to expound on your theory.
Alone would not be enough to bring everyone together. Even if the barriers of the world were to be destroyed, this alone would not be enough to heal the wounds of the world and bring joy to everyone in the world. Something will be needed to bring that joy, which would finally make Luffy become the new Joy Boy. Just like so many believed one day would come to pass, someone would arise, challenge the world to a fight, and turn it upside down. Someone who would make it to the ends of the seas, destroy the world, and find a treasure lying at the very end of their journey. And a Straw Hat Luffy, the man who turned the world upside down and brought the Ramon's dawn, stood in front of the One Piece, finally laying eyes on the treasure he searched for. After all this time in his long journey, he finally realized everything in this world. And much like everyone who came before him, much like all those who could not make it this far, but knew that their dreams would all one day come to pass, Luffy quite simply laughed.
Sweetie Daddy laugh.
This joyous boy helped connect all those who had been divided for so many centuries through the simple act of throwing a massive party. A party where everyone could throw away hatred and discrimination and instead indulge in joy and laughter. And it is this massive party that would not only connect all people together as equals, but it is also this massive party that would allow everyone to finally laugh together. The people of the world had endured everything in order to laugh again. With the One Piece in his hands, Luffy could finally bring laughter to the entire world. He would be able to finally make his dream a reality and throw the biggest party in the world, connecting all the people from all the seas under the same sun together as one. That is how One Piece will end. But that is a story no one yet knows about. But with all said and done, what is the One Piece? How do all these scenes foreshadow it? Well, the definitive answer will lie in the final episode, the culmination of this long series of videos, where we will finally answer the greatest question in this entire series. Episode 8 of the True History. What is the One Piece?
Alright, so pretty much finished that. That was good. It was long. You know, I mean, we didn't watch the whole thing, so I mean, it could have been way longer if we would have watched the whole thing. Believe me. But I'm gonna let you guys, if you guys want to go back and watch it, definitely go back and watch it. Go support fellow YouTubers' content, especially somebody who has been in the game and has worked as hard and long as Artur Library of Ohara did, because he put a lot into these videos that we've been going over. So definitely go check out the rest of the video. I wanted to cut it just for sake of not being here for another 2 hours, but you know, I know a lot of you, some of you probably gotta go to sleep soon, because I know some of you in Europe or wherever you are in the world. So yeah, let me read these chats real quick. Cube, I guess he's talking about the Davy back fights. Said it must be Hachinosu. It's Blackbeard's current HQ and the place where the rocks form. Yeah, the Davy backs come from there. Yeah, I was familiar with that. I feel like it's foreshadowing how Rocks formed his crew. Okay. I mean, that could make sense. Like, maybe he won all them in the Davy back fight. I mean, that actually would kind of make a lot of sense when it comes to how, the Rocks pirates having so many strong members. If Rocks won all those members within a Davy back fight on Paradise Island, because you're right. That's where the Davy back fight was created within the story. So I mean, I can see where you're coming. I mean, it was just kind of random for you to bring up the Davy back fight, so I was a little confused with what you was talking about. But yeah, so that's pretty much the end of what I think it was episode 7 that we just did, and we got episode 8 next week. We'll be doing next Wednesday around the same time. I thought it was good. It was more of a. I mean, the reason why I skipped it into the laugh tale part, because it was more of a recap type. It wasn't really much of a theory. It was more of a recap, and I was like, it was already a long video, so I figured we could watch like nearly half of the recap and then go to the end where the maybe more of the speculation happens. But I don't really got much. It was a lot of it. He kind of a lot of what he said, especially at the end. He kind of stated a lot of. He repeated some of the stuff he said in his previous videos, like the whole thing about the party, the biggest party. He said that in the first episode, so I mean, I didn't know what to expect on that last segment of the video, but after watching it, that's pretty much, it was a lot of repeated stuff, I would say. But yeah, I kind of agree with him. I think that we will see the world's biggest party. I don't know if it's going to happen in the way that he said it was, where we're going to see every single body at this battle. I do think we're going to get almost everybody, but there'll be some people that we won't see. Of course, I don't know if we're going to see Doflamingo. I don't know if we're going to see Kaido. If Kaido is defeated by the end of arc, the Wano arc, and if Big Mom is defeated by the end of the Wano arc, I don't know if we're going to see him. But it'd be nice to see him again, though. I won't lie. I won't lie. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much what I got going. If you got any One Piece theory videos that you might want me to react to, that you want to send my way, you could send them on Instagram. You could send them through the Discord. I would probably rather you send it to me through the Discord. So, but you can send them to me on Instagram or Twitter. Twitter is another good place you can send them to me. Or maybe the One Piece Facebook group. Links will be down in the description. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got for the stream, man. It's a pretty long stream. I apologize to you guys for having to stop the stream a little earlier to go handle some things, but couldn't really be helped. But anyway, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff Guide. Hey, and make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, on my Facebook page. Make sure you hit that like button for this specific stream now. Show some love now. Show some love. Subscribe if you haven't already. I am doing a giveaway after I hit 50 subscribers. And we're almost there. We're right there. We're almost there. Just few more subscribers and we hit that 50 subscriber mark. I will be giving away 2 of those Straw Hat Jolly Rogers. So yeah. Cube said I got one. We'll send you it tomorrow. Cool. Anyway, that's all I got. Y'all have a good night. Ooh, smoothie burps. Anyway, I am out of here. Peace.